Hi, I am Dr. Arsalan and today we are going to differentiate between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms or the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Primarily the word origin, the prokaryote and eukaryote both words are derived from Greek language. Pro means before and karyon means nucleus. Prokaryotes are basically primitive organisms without nucleus, therefore these are called prokaryotes, while in case of eukaryotes, eu means well developed and karyon means nucleus. So these organisms, eukaryotes, have well-developed nucleus. So the primary and the basic difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes organism is that in case of prokaryotes, there is no nucleus or nuclear membrane, while in case of eukaryotes, there is well-developed nucleus. Examples. As we know that Robert Whittaker has divided all type of living organisms of the world into 5 kingdoms. The kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So the only kingdom Monera comprises prokaryotic cells or the prokaryote organisms. So kingdom Monera, it is also called as kingdom Prokaryote. Only this kingdom comprising bacteria and cyanobacteria. So this kingdom Monera or Prokaryote comprises bacteria and cyanobacteria. These two kinds of organisms are called prokaryotes, while rest of the organisms of all 4 kingdoms are called eukaryotes. For example, the kingdom Protista, fungi, plants and animalia. All of these organisms comprised in these kingdoms are eukaryotes. So in the world, only bacteria and cyanobacteria are prokaryotes. Rest of the organisms are all eukaryotes. The third character is nucleus. Nucleus is the basis of division of the organism into prokaryote and eukaryote. In case of prokaryotes, there is no nucleus, or we can say that technically there is no nuclear membrane, because nuclear contents are present in prokaryotes, but there is no nuclear membrane. So the genetic material and contents of the nucleus are not separated by the nuclear membrane. These prokaryotic organisms lacks a well-developed nucleus or nuclear membrane, while in case of eukaryotes, the nucleus is present. There is well-developed nucleus containing all kinds of the genetic material like chromosome, DNA, genes, etc. So all of these are present in the nucleus of the eukaryotes. Next is nucleoid. Nucleoid is the region in the cytoplasm of the prokaryotes in which the nuclear material or genetic material are present. For example, in case of bacteria, if we can say that this is a bacterial cell, so there is a single chromosome present in the cytoplasm. So this region in the cytoplasm containing the chromosomes and DNA, this region is called nucleoid. So nucleoid is the region in cytoplasm which contains nuclear material. And obviously this nucleoid is absent in eukaryotes, because these nuclear contents and genetic material in the eukaryotes are enclosed in the nuclear membrane. These are present in the well-developed nucleus. For example, this is an animal cell, so all the nuclear contents are present in this nucleus. So nucleus and nuclear membrane has separated nuclear contents from the cytoplasm. So in eukaryotic organisms, the nuclear contents are separated from the cytoplasm by a well-developed nuclear membrane. There is double-layered nuclear membrane in the eukaryotes. Next is DNA. In case of prokaryotes, the DNA is present in the form of loop, while in case of eukaryotes, DNA is organized in the chromosomes. So proper organization of DNA is there in chromosomes and gene, while in case of prokaryotes, the DNA is present in the form of loop. Sometimes circular DNA called plasmid present in the plasmid specific sites. So this was the major difference between DNA of prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So next difference between prokaryote and eukaryote is the nuclear contents. In case of prokaryotes, these nuclear contents, the genetic material chromosomes, are lying in the nucleoid region in the cytoplasm. While in case of eukaryotes, these genetic material, the nuclear contents, are enclosed in the nucleus, which is double-layered membrane. For example, this is animal cell, the nucleus is present in the center, while in case of plant cell, the nucleus is present at the side. This is called peripheral nucleus, this is called central nucleus, because in plants the vacuole is present in this center, it has large vacuole. So all of these eukaryotic organisms contain the nucleus, which comprises the nuclear contents, the genetic material. Next difference is the chromosome. In case of prokaryotes, there is a single chromosome. As we have seen in the diagram, that the bacteria had a single chromosome which was lying in the cytoplasm. While in case of eukaryotes, the chromosomes are well organized and these are present in the nucleus in the form of pairs. The cells are dividing These eukaryotic cell chromosomes can easily be seen through compound microscope, and in case the cell is in interphase stage when it's not dividing, the chromosome appear as a chromatin material in the cells. So next is the cellular organization. In case of prokaryotes, as we have seen that bacteria and cyanobacteria, and sometimes we can see archaea, all of these are unicellular. So the prokaryotic organisms are made up of single cell, and these are the unicellular organisms. While in case of eukaryotes, there may be unicellular organisms as well as the multicellular. But most oftenly, the eukaryotic organisms are multicellular. The unicellular organism may be protozoans. For example, amoeba, trypanosoma, bellentidium, plasmodium. So these are unicellular organisms belonging to the kingdom Protista. While in case of the kingdom fungi, plants and animals, these organisms are usually multicellular. Next and basic difference lies in the cytoplasmic organelles. In case of prokaryotic organisms, there are no cytoplasmic organelles except ribosomes. For example, the mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, centrioles, lysosome, peroxisome, glycosome, plastids, all of these cytoplasmic organelles are absent in the prokaryotes. So cytoplasmic organelles are absent in prokaryotes with the exception of ribosomes. In case of eukaryotes, all the cytoplasmic organelles are present. The ribosomes, as we have stated that in case of prokaryotes, there are no cytoplasmic organelles in the ribosomes, but the ribosomes of the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell differ in the size. For example, in case of prokaryotic cell, the ribosomes are 30s, 50s, and their combination is the 70s. We know that the smaller unit and larger subunit, this is the smaller unit and this is larger subunit. These are joined together by magnesium bond. So combination of these two ribosomal units give rise to larger unit, that is 70s. In case of eukaryotes, the ribosomes are of 40s, 60s, and these two units joined together through magnesium again and form 80s. So all of the ribosomes in eukaryotic cells are respectively 10 times greater than the prokaryotic ribosomes. Next is the cell wall. Cell wall is present in both prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic organisms, but it should be kept in mind that the cell wall of prokaryotic organisms is far more complex than the eukaryote. The cell wall of eukaryotes is simpler than the cell wall of prokaryotes. Cell wall of the prokaryotes is made up of peptidoglycans, which is again made up of murine, and the subunits of the murines are N-acetyl glucosamine. So N-acetyl glucosamine units, these join together to form murine, and murine is the building block of peptidoglycan, which is the composition of cell wall of bacteria. So bacterial cell wall is basically made up of peptidoglycans, while in case of eukaryotes, cell wall is present in the plants and it is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin and lignin, and in fungi the cell wall is made up of chitin. In animals the cell wall is absent. So cell wall of both plants and fungi, these are made up of carbohydrate units. In case of the prokaryotes, cell wall is made up of peptidoglycans. Peptido refer to proteins and glycan refer to carbohydrates. So this is basically conjugated molecule. The proteins and carbohydrates fuse together and constitute the cell wall of the bacteria. So next is the cell size. As we know that the prokaryotes are primitive cell types, and these are of simple and smaller size. The average size of the prokaryotic cell ranges from 1 to 10 micrometer, while in case of eukaryotes, the cell is larger and complex. Its size ranges from 10 to 100 micrometer. However, both of these cells can be seen under the compound microscope. Next is the DNA shape. The DNA of prokaryote is circular in shape, while DNA of eukaryotes is linear in shape. Next is the reproduction. In case of prokaryotes, the primary mode of reproduction is asexual reproduction. So they follow asexual mode of reproduction. Asexual mode of reproduction may be binary fission, multiple fission, fragmentation, spore formation. These all are kind of reproduction in case of bacteria and cyanobacteria, in which most common is the binary fission. Sometimes sexual reproduction occurs, but in this case there are no gamete formation, rather only genetic material can be transferred from one cell to other cell. So this is not a typical sexual reproduction. So basically the prokaryotes rely upon the asexual kind of reproduction. When in case of eukaryotes, sexual reproduction is present, and some animals or plants undergo asexual reproduction as well. So primary mode of reproduction is sexual reproduction because here gametes are formed. Next difference lies in the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is present in some autotrophic bacteria, but this chlorophyll is scattered in the cytoplasm. In case of prokaryotes, the chlorophyll is not present in the chloroplast, rather it is scattered in the cytoplasm of the bacterial cell. While in case of eukaryotes, in case of plants, the chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. So these are the chloroplasts are basically organelles, the plastids in which chlorophyll is contained in the thylakoid membranes of the grana. So this is grana, and each membrane is called thylakoid membrane, and the thylakoid membrane comprises the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is present in the membrane of these thylakoids. The kind of chlorophyll is also different in prokaryote and eukaryote. In case of prokaryotes, the chlorophyll is called bacteriophil, while in case of eukaryotes, the chlorophyll is called chlorophyll A, B, C, D, E, and E. The chlorophyll A is most common and present in all kinds of plants, and formula of C55H72O5N4Mg. So this is general formula of chlorophyll A, which is present in all types of the plants. Next character is cell division. In case of the prokaryotes, cell divide through binary fission, while in case of eukaryotes, the cell divides through the process of mitosis. All living organisms, all the eukaryotic organisms undergo mitosis for their cell division, while in case of prokaryotes, the cell divides by binary fission. The difference lies in the flagella. Flagella is locomotory organ made up of flagellin protein. So this is smaller and even submicroscopic. While in case of eukaryotes, the cells containing flagella, the flagella are larger and microscopic, can be seen through microscope. Next is the cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is absent in case of prokaryotes, while in eukaryotes, because of larger cell size and lots of contents in the cell, it is present in eukaryotes. Also, the endocytosis and exocytosis, through both these processes, cell transportation occurs. Endocytosis and exocytosis is absent in prokaryotes or bacteria, and it is present in the eukaryotes. These were all the differences between prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cells. So it should be kept in mind that only the organism bacteria which are present in this earth or universe are under the category of prokaryotes. All of the other organisms lie under the category of eukaryotes. And here one thing should be kept in mind, that viruses are excluded from prokaryote and eukaryote cell division because viruses are still acellular. These are lying on the borderline of living and non-living things and still dispute. It is not clear by the scientists whether the viruses are living or non-living. Therefore, we do not rank or consider the virus in any type of the classification system, whether it is 5-kingdom system, whether it is 2-kingdom system, or whether it is prokaryotic or eukaryotic cell classification. The virus is being excluded. Virus do not lie under the scope of prokaryotic or eukaryotic. It is neither prokaryotic nor eukaryotic. Remember me in your prayers. Thank you.